Okay, so Dr. Hari, I'll welcome you to my channel LYB Learn Your Business. A warm
Thank
welcome
you.
to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I have been fortunate enough. We discuss many things apart from this. So first, I would literally like to understand how your journey has been. Our viewers would also like to know how you have been grown since beginning till here. So if you would like to tell.
So actually, I can call you Manju, right?
Yeah, Manju.
Okay. So, Manju, I started my career in 1993 as a computer programmer. That was the time when we were not calling ourselves software engineers. We hate
Yes,
that
even
term.
at that time.
We hate that term because we say engineers means those people who are dealing with the hardware, civil engineers, electrical engineers. No, we
Yeah.
are the people who are dealing with the soft thing. It means the mind, the brain. So we are typically the people who program the machines. So we call ourselves programmers. So we proudly from that generation. So that point of time, I was doing programming in COBOL and Clipper and Fox Pro. That
Okay.
journey continued up to 2010, 93 to 2010. That journey continued. So I have been basically a computer programmer, and then different role I took in organization depending on what project and what product I was working upon. I have taken product management role, project management role, architect role, leadership role with different organization. And my domain have been NGO and then logistic cargo, banking,
Mhm.
securities, and little bit insurance and finance.
Okay.
Domain, and then staffing have been my domain. Then 2009, I think 2010, 2010, I took the decision that this technology is changing too fast, and I'm getting aged now. I cannot learn this technology throughout my life. So whatever basically I am doing, because by the time 2010 I was working as a vice president for a company, and I was heading the entire delivery. I thought this is the time. I know the software, I know the management, so let me move towards the management. By the time I had the experience of CMMI, ISO, ISMS, and all those basically implementation and helping
Mhm.
organizations that also. Let me move into management consulting. What happened is in 2000, around 2004, I got introduced to a book called PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. And around the same time, I got introduced to SEI CMMI. So along with the along with the software engineering, I was getting introduced to the processes, which basically manage that entire project life cycle and product life cycle. So by the time 2010, I was basically I made the decision that if I go and teach it, it will be better rather than doing on my own at one place, and then how much influence I'll be able to make if I do this one, because this is such a wonderful thing, such a beautiful thing. People should know about this one. And
Right.
then I started doing PMP training, so PMP, PMI, ACP, Agile, Scrum, all CAPM, all those project management tools like MSP, all those have been training. Trained around 4,000 people on PMP and all those things across India and APAC region. And then it was going, and then I was watching that journey actually, that how it is progressing. 2018 around, I realized that very soon the project management uh, will be moving towards the technology side, because a lot of automation
Right.
are happening. Human requirement around project management will reduce because of that automation aspect. Because not much creative kind of thing. No? So then I thought, let me pick up something which is will be able to take me for another 30 years at least. That was one thing. And another thing was earlier I left software engineering architecting because it was changing too fast. But then in project management, I was feeling that nothing much is changing. So it was becoming
It's
little
stagnant.
boring also. I thought technology gives the excitement. Let me go back to technology. So, so what happened is that was the time I thought, let me learn AI, data science, analytics. Analytics project I have been doing earlier in my software career also, but formally getting introduced to data analytics and AI ML
Mhm.
kind of thing. I started doing on my own a couple of courses I followed on Coursera and Udemy, etc. But then I realized if I am planning for another 30 years, these 1 month, 2 month courses will not take me longer because I need to dive deeper into this subject.
Yeah.
And that was the time I took the decision I will do my MS. So that was my, I think, fifth MS.
Okay. Fifth MS. Wow.
Fifth MS.
So you have been learning throughout your
From my
life, I should say.
life. In fact, almost all my education happened during my career. All education happened during my career. I did MA in economics. I did MSc in physical chemistry. I did, in fact, final years of the. I didn't write that exam, but then I was almost ready. First year I did. Second year I didn't write the physical chemistry. MA economics. Then I did MBA, and then I did MCA. I did MBA in. Sorry, I did PG in financial management and operation management. And then this was the thing happening, data science. So registered for around 2 years program in data science, and then learned that one. And then when it was done, I thought let me complete my uh, doctorate also, because since long I was thinking I need to do the doctorate. That point of time I was thinking I will do my doctorate uh, in uh, in business. But then this was a time when I thought let me do doctorate in technology. So I did my DBA, doctorate in business administration, this around AI and NLP. So my subject was uh, AI powered historical book question answering. So this is
Okay.
how basically I started doing basically AI stuff kind of thing. And then in this process, I started doing training and mentoring role for upgrade programs.
Mm-hmm.
And that process, I have trained around 2,000 people on this subject, data science, machine learning,
Okay.
AI, etc. So this is my short journey from programmer to again coming to technology domain.
Programmer to PM coach and then again in technology trainer.
Again, technology domain. Correct, correct.
So you
And
have been so much inclined towards you want to learn things. You never wanted to sit idle and just doing the job. You always wanted to learn something, or it's like when you come through something new and then you wanted to learn it deeper. So you then opted for another education level. How it actually went for you?
actually, what happens is the journey is interesting. What happened is around 2010, when I was uh, basically in teaching or consulting project management, so I started writing articles.
Okay.
So where to post those articles? So I was looking my own space, and I thought, let me learn something where I can have my own blog. So I was basically experimenting with different technology, and then I basically end up choosing Joomla. And then
Okay.
after some times, I went for WordPress also. But that point of time, Joomla and WordPress was not that straightforward as it is today. Today, it is just single button, and you can go ahead.
Right.
That point of time, not many plugins. 2010, I'm talking about. Not many plugins
Yeah,
were
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of so I need to learn that complete framework. So 2006 was the time when I touched the technology, and those technology was the different, and this technology was different. So I need to learn everything. In this
Right.
process, this was the time when I started entering into this thing. So what very soon what happened is sometimes website will go down and sometimes performance issue, and I thought, okay, whatever I'm writing, whatever I'm teaching, I need to basically have grasp over it. Otherwise, I need to hand over this work to somebody. So that वो कीड़ा बोलते हैं ना कि हर चीज में डिटेल में जाना है. Until the time I that thing in my skin, तो मैं रुकता नहीं उसको. Then I go inside that. So till the time
So you
complete
had that things inside you.
वो है वो अभी भी है कि जब तक मेरे को स्किन पे फील नहीं होता ना कि वो कैसे हुआ. If somebody tells me at surface level, I'll dive deeper. I'll go. I am not a person who lives at of detail. I go, and even if I'm remaining at top, I am because I do not have time that point of time. But if I have time, I'll go detail. It's not because that sometimes people do not have that technical competency. They say, okay, दूसरा कर लेगा. Let it hand over. But for me, I do not hand over the work because I do not have capability. I hand over that work because I do not have time. If I have time, I'll go deeper. That was the thing. And because of that reason, no, whatever I'll pick up, I'll go. So what happened is when I was doing this all data science and AI and ML, no. So see what happens is people just learn the application of certain things, right? Now, for example, entire your phone has lot many AI features, right? So you just know how this is working, but you do not know what is the mathematics behind it, how it works, what is how the programming happens, how the data, how the machine learning happens, right? And for me, it was very interesting. I was thinking, uh, as a psychologist, as a philosopher, I know how the learning happens in human mind, but I want to understand how this learning happens within the machine. I have been a programmer. I thought like up to this point of time, whatever I write, that is what machine learn. So that is not learning. That is programming.
Right.
I'm programming. When these people are saying machine learning means what? How machines are learning, right? So what is happening through which machine is learning? And then when I started diving inside, they say, oh, through data it learned. And say, okay, through data we learn, we observe things, we see photograph, we listen sound, we see taste,
And that's how machines also learn.
through this data we learn. But then how machines are learning from the camera photograph? Or how machines are learning from sounds, how machines are learning from text, right? And machines normally understand 0 and 1 or purely numbers, but image is not number. Image is not number, or the sound is not number, or text is not a number. So how that learning happens? So that took me deeper and deeper and deeper. So then a lot of mathematical concept and all those kind of things. Because of that, it happened that journey remained continuous.
So that is kind of you have something inbuilt in your personality. I need to know. Okay, so like yeah.
I'm thinking even in my spiritual life also, if somebody tells me because this is written in the book or some great person said this, I do not go. I say I respect that person, I respect that book. It's okay, but it is not convincing. Let me figure it out. I will go. I will dive deeper than what is being said. So for me, my experience is more important. My convincing my mind is more important than just listening and believing. No matter whether it is technology or philosophy or history or anything.
Finding logic is more important.
How it works.
Exactly. So let's talk about project management now, because when you started, it was kind of that time, if I'm not wrong, in 2020, then agile started entering into the world. Companies were majorly working on waterfall, right? And then agile kind of grown. Then another thing, safe came in. Then Kanban and other technologies. So how these things are differentiating from each other, and how this whole PM world is evolving. Consider like in next past 15 or 20 years, how it has been evolved.
So, Manju, actually, My first project management started in 1998.
Oh,
That was the first time. You
okay.
see, the problem in India is anybody who have been in programming for 4 or 5 years, if they are not getting promoted, people think, what are you doing? You should become manager.
Right. It
So
happens here.
I was also aspiring to become manager. So I became, so because some product was there and they handed over to me and I became the project manager. So from that time, I got exposure to project. So from 98 to, by the time it was 2010, choose, I have seen that change up to 2010. And from 2010
Yeah.
to like, in fact, I was the guy who have basically implemented 2000 implemented agile in 2005 2006, and you will know that agile manifesto was signed in 2001. Before that, agile practices were there, but first time I think around 17 people, 17 pioneer in the agile, they came together and they wrote that manifesto 2001. And I was one of the person in 2000, around 2005, 2006, who was basically who started using agile practices. So we need to understand first that how this evolution happened. And before
Right.
understanding this evolution, we need to understand why the evolution was required. What was the reading? What was the need of that evolution? So what happened is, over the period of time, requirement started changing. Earlier, if I want to give you some work, I will give you one work and 2 3 months or 1 year I will not see you. I say, okay, this is the money, this is the work, and you figure it out. But slowly, that time was not there. That okay, after giving the work, I'll forward. Earlier, you may be seeing the government contract, right? Even government contract, one project, and then for 3 years, nobody is asking what is happening in that project. In the corporate also, some product you will start for 6 months, 7 months, 1 year, no news. Because they say, okay, first we will capture the requirement, and then basically we'll do the documentation, then we'll do the architecture, and then we will do low level design, and then we will do the coding, and then we will do the testing. So that is how it was going. Over the period of time, people realize that if customer is changing the requirement in between, it is very difficult, it is very costly. So that approach, which was basically linear approach, or which we call that waterfall approach, was not working.
Right.
So
And
was not.
as far as I know, in just sorry to interrupt you, like in waterfall, you there was no methodology or any process to keep check in between. You can
Huh,
only see the results at the end. If it's not working, then you have to dig it from the beginning. So it's more time consuming, more cost is involved, and definitely effort. And you are
huh,
not sure whether you will be getting desired result at the end or not.
correct. So what happened is, in this entire life cycle, there were many processes. Even for change management, there is a process. Even for quality control, there is a process. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, all these processes go in the linear direction, in the forward direction also. They do not come iteratively back.
top to down.
हाँ, no iteration नहीं है.
Yeah, earlier iteration was not there. It was only from top to down.
हाँ, तो forward direction में है, top to down है. So, and now this iteration was important because of the competition,
Right.
because of government,
Mhm.
because of availability of the money in the market, because of the aspiration of the people.
And inflation, can we talk about that also? Things
Inflation,
are becoming more costly.
inflation is basically, inflation is not the problem, because let us say, if you are, I think you are talking about economic inflation, right?
No, 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 no. I'm talking about the resource value is getting increased.
हाँ, तो वो तो पहले भी था ना. इन जो रिसोर्स वैल्यू का जो इंक्रीज होता है, आई थिंक यू आर नॉट टॉकिंग वैल्यू, यू आर सेइंग रिसोर्स कॉस्ट इज गेटिंग इंक्रीज. कॉस्ट इज
Exactly. Yeah, the cost of
कॉस्ट
resource.
डिफरेंट, वैल्यू डिफरेंट. हाँ, so cost is getting increased because of inflation, economic inflation. In economy always we had inflation. वो 4-5% का inflation तो हमेशा रहता है, वो पहले से भी है. वो inflation is not the problem.
Mhm.
Inflation continuously 4-5%, if that inflation is not there, economy will not grow. That will remain
Right.
there. Right? Problem was these aspiration of the people, technological advancement.
Mm-hmm.
See, and then number of options, competition. People want to do the same thing at lesser price, better
Exactly.
quality, more options. Now, if you are doing old style project management, it is not going to work. So you need to basically have the methodologies which can incorporate the change in between
So
also.
agile was a breakthrough in project management.
That was the time when they thought that okay, this rigid thing is not going to work. You need to have some agility. Dinosaur is not going to work. You need to have rabbit. Dinosaur or elephant is basically that static. No, उसको अगर move करना है तो
तो
बहुत
पूरा
time लगता है.
ही करना पड़ेगा.
But rabbit can move quickly, right? That is
Right.
because it's agility there. So how to bring the agility for that purpose? Then certain practices was brought. So we say, okay, now what will be the difference between old methodology and this new methodology? They say, okay, old methodology will be basically is focused on certain thing, and this is focused on certain. For example, they say in Agile Manifesto there are 4 values and 11 principles. So one of the value they say, okay, follow the contract. Okay, versus basically follow the basically contract negotiation or oblique collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So what will you choose? So earlier it is important to make a right contract and put right terms and conditions there, then only start working on the project. But as I'll say, okay, we will not focus on the contract, although contract is important, but we will not focus on the contract. We will focus on how to collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
So how all people come together. Now, for example, second principle of second value of Agile Manifesto say that your follow the plan, okay, versus incorporate the change. Okay, now follow the plan means you think thoroughly and make a good plan which you can follow. It takes its own time to make this plan, and we don't know how good plan we will make, it will change.
So when you say plan, is it the plan? It's like a critical part of any project,
No, plan
or
means
it's
everything.
different?
Plan means everything. Plan means
Okay.
including your resources,
Okay.
human resources. Plan means it includes your quality planning, it your procurement planning.
Mm-hmm.
It includes your schedule also.
Okay.
It includes your what is the thing which you will do. It means scope planning. It includes your
Everything.
communication planning. It includes your stakeholder management. It includes planning. It includes everything.
Okay.
So you make that plan thoroughly and then do the project. Versus when they say agile, they say, okay, plan is okay, but more than the plan, what we will do is we will incorporate the change.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the basically different aspects. So what happened is there was a different paradigm shift was required, and in this process, several methodologies were there. There are around I think I remember 10 to 15 different methodologies are there developed there. One of the methodologies is the Scrum methodology, which became
Yeah.
very famous.
Right.
This is promoted. I'm not nowadays. I'm not doing agile training much. So, but then long back, I remember Jeff Sutherland proposed Scrum framework, and that became very famous. Okay. So this way, this thing came, and around the Scrum itself. Today in the market, there are 4 or 5 different certifications. Scrum Alliance has certification. Scrum Study has. Scrum ORG has. Now PMI has PMI ACD certification, and there are so many other things there. So, this change was happening over the period of time, right? And all the
Yeah.
change is basically how quickly you can adopt the change and deliver fast and deliver at basically lesser quality, better product, a smaller team. kind of thing, rather than having bigger team. And then basically collaboration, it means across geography you can put all people together and get the work done, rather than having all co-located team, all those kind of things. So that is basically the major change happened in last uh, uh, 20 years, I'll say, in project management, where the things was earlier things was basically straightforward. Nowadays, either you call it requirement, or you call it computation, or you call it resources, you call money, you call whatever. Things are changing.
Evolution.
It's changing very fast. That's the change.
So agile works majorly on adaptability of things.
True.
You
Adapting,
adapt and respond,
adapt and response.
and then adapt according to the response.
I got adapt according to response. Yes, you know that. Yeah.
Okay. So why did you then again in past you did this your masters and doctorate in AIML and data science stuff? Then why did you choose AIML particularly?
So what happened? No, Manju. When I was looking that, okay, I have around 30 years career, and I'm not in government job that I bet at 60 I'll get retired.
And get
So
pension. That's not an option.
pension was not a problem for me, because I never followed the money that much, because I live in different kind of life.
Uh-huh.
For me, the important thing was the purpose of life.
Hmm.
The purpose of life is not have money and enjoy that money. Purpose of life is find the reason to wake up in the morning. So what is the reason to wake up in the morning? Now let us say if I 60, if I have, let's say at 60, if I have 100 crore rupees in my account, right? So what should be the reason to wake up in the morning at the 60, at the 61, at the 62? Just because I have money, I should not wake up? I should. For what? What is that for which I should wake up? Until the time I'm living, that reason should be there. So it is not money which drives me. There is some different thing, right? So I was thinking that 30 years is really done. If I want to continue my career for another 30 years, till the time my mind body is functioning, what is that which I should do?
Okay.
Then in that space, I realized that this data is being generated hugely, and as human has become more and more intelligent with more and more data processing, machines are going to become more intelligent with more data processing. And I think this is the time where AI makes sense, analytics make more sense, and deep learning make more sense. And
So
then
first you became intelligent and then you target, I'll make people to become intelligent so you can handle the intelligent machines or make intelligent machines.
make machines more intelligent, right? Up to this point of time, when I was doing programming, I was giving my intelligence to machine. I was saying this is the business rule, and this is how this work should be done. This is how this calculation should be done. This is
Mhm.
how this process should be. So I decide the workflow. I decide the basically the calculations, right? I decide basically uh, let's say in banking application that, okay, what is the business rule? All these things I am giving. It's my intelligence. Machine
Mhm.
intelligence is not there.
So yeah.
How machine will get that intelligence? For that purpose, AI is required.
So as per my knowledge and what I feel, basically, anyway, even machines are extensively using AI. We have so many AI tools and everything. But whatever results they are giving, that is on the basis of data. They are synthesizing that data and giving you an outcome. But
True.
do you really feel that machines should be leave human behind in terms of the creativity and things, creating something new?
See, Manju, that
They,
is interesting thing. See, we think that we human are creative, right? We think we human are creative, and just go in the surrounding and ask how many Einsteins are there.
Very few. I'm not saying many.
Or
Um,
how many Rabindranath Tagores are there? How many Kalidasas are there? Right.
very few.
So what will happen? But
Kalidas is
most of
only one.
uh,
Rabindranath Tagore is only one, not few even.
the people, what most of the people are doing? Most of the people are doing copy and paste, or just
Exactly.
arranging those things, right?
So this AI is also
Machines.
developed by few specific intelligent people, right? Not by all. Others are utilizing that.
Yes, 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 true, true. And now what is happening? These machines will replace the mundane task of the human, which normally human being do. But
So
they will not be able to replace Einstein. They
definitely
can,
they cannot. Otherwise, how machines will evolve then?
huh. So if you say, can machines replace human being? Answer is no. But then you say, can machine replace machine? Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And we need to ask, out of 8 billion people on this planet, how many are machine?
90%?
Most of the people are machine. They will be replaced.
90%.
They will be replaced. So we need to learn how to become human.
So can we say in other way these machines are actually making people more intelligent to how to handle these machines and increasing their capabilities?
You see, machines' capabilities are being increased by big organizations or experts there, right? But when machine become intelligent, it does not mean human become intelligent. Human only learn how to figure that out.
But human will also learn ways to how to, get engaged with that particular software or machine and how to get the work done from that machine. Then only
Exactly.
they can sustain in markets.
True. But then what is happening in this game? Machines are ahead of the human.
Yeah, because now people are running behind
That
machines.
should not happen. In fact, humans should be ahead of the machine.
There will
This
be few.
this whole game, machines are going now, but it is not that these machines are ahead of all human. No, these machines
No.
are not ahead of all human. These machines are ahead of most of the human,
Yes,
but
that's true.
behind some human, those human who are original thinker, creative. So now, for example, let's say you are a musician.
Hmm.
You use AI to create the music. It will enable you to do that music work faster with better quality. But I'm not a musician. I never created a music. I use AI. I also can create the music. Will I replace you? I cannot replace you
Because I am the
because
creator of music.
I have access only to AI tool and you have access to AI plus human intelligence of the music both. As far as the music is concerned, I have access only to the AI. I do not have natural intelligence of music access because I
I
have never been trained around that one. But you have been trained around that one. So AI is more suitable for you, but for me, what will happen is I will be able to sing some Kishore Kumar song or some Mohammad Rafi song or some Pradeep
remake.
song. It doesn't mean that I become a musician. So technology is enabling me in certain direction. But when it comes to creativity, if you do not learn how to become creative and if you do not go ahead of this thing, then it will be a problem.
Creativity cannot be taught to people, right?
Creativity
It's
cannot.
something you get from birth, like some
You learn
leadership traits you get by birth.
you actually ऐसे कर सकते हैं उसको कि let us say even if I do a creativity workshop, so in creativity workshop I am not teaching people there, I am inspiring people. Some people will learn, some people will not learn. If it were teachable thing, I could have taught all. But out of all those people, 4 5 people will learn because they are absorbing it, other people will not be. But it is not a teachable. You can inspire people for the creativity. It
Right.
depends upon them whether they will get inspired or not and for what.
But everyone cannot inspire also, right?
And everyone cannot inspire. That is true. Everyone cannot inspire. That is true.
Okay, okay, okay. So, considering the experience you have and what all things you have exposed to till now, and what I see, you keep a bird eye view around what is happening. So, what do you think? How, let's talk. PM has been kind of your forte, and now you have entered in just couple of years back into AIML and these things, but still in coaching. But you can see how things are evolving around.
True.
So where this PM thing will go in future? Because now if I see people around, everyone is like, no, we should do PM. Because if even if you see, like, being in recruitment, I see in positions also, when they're asking for HR also, they ask for this PMP certification sometimes, and project management experience within HR. In recruitment also, they ask the same experience. Okay, so everyone, like, in whatever they feel they are, everyone is kind of running behind this PM or CSM certification. If you talk to these coaching institutes, they will suggest you do either this agile evangelist certification, or you do scrum master. Okay, if you haven't handled projects directly, because PMP asks details. You should have done at least, I think, 1.5 year of project, or 2.5 years with the real project, whether it could be in any field. So they sell more CSM and people take it. So how these people should identify things, what is better for them, and how these things will take them in future. Let's say next 5 years. I think for now 5 years is a long term goal.
So, see, project management is about delivering results with some resources.
Yeah.
And for that purpose, we need processes. Processes takes input and it generates output.
I have one question here. When you talk about processes, like project management has its own processes to lean the process,
Project
or
management has hundreds of processes.
okay.
Let us say you want to collect the requirement from the customer and trace the requirement throughout the project life cycle. What happened to this one? So for that
Mhm.
purpose, you need a process which is called requirement management process
Okay.
or
Requirement gathering.
requirement collection process
Okay.
or requirement elicitation process or
Okay.
requirement validation process
Mhm.
or requirement control process.
So these are the
Customer,
different stages of same process. What I'm understanding, right?
no, no. See, requirement is one theme. For collecting the requirement, you need certain process, right? So that we call requirement collection process.
Mm-hmm.
But when requirement has been collected, what do you do after that? You do
Validation.
design, etc. Right? So how will you know that the design of the requirement has happened or not? Because there are hundreds of requirement. उस requirement का design हो गया, उसका हुआ, उसका नहीं हुआ, कैसे check करोगे? So you need to have a process called requirement traceability.
Okay. And
Similarly,
then where user stories comes in the picture.
so now what happens is user story is one of the document, one of the output.
Because if I, being a project manager or business analyst, I collected the requirement. Okay. Then
Output.
developers
So
don't
user
understand.
story is the output of that process.
Sorry.
User story is the output of the process.
After collecting the requirements, I'll create the user stories so development team can understand actually
Hold on.
what needs to be developed.
अभी रुको. So
Okay.
every process has input, it has output, and it has certain steps.
Yeah.
So as you are saying, user story is the output of the process.
Okay.
But what is the process? Process is basically requirement management process or
Mm-hmm.
requirement collection process. So for that requirement collection process, there are certain inputs. What are the input for this process?
Okay.
Maybe product backlog, maybe interviews with people, I do not know.
Okay.
Maybe like contract document.
It could be anything.
These are the input, and then
Mhm.
output is basically user stories, right? But what are the tools which you use for that? What is
Management.
process will convert input into output.
Okay.
But what is the process itself? वो जो चक्की होता है ना गेहूं का, it will convert the wheat into atta. But what
Mhm.
is the process? वो चक्की ना,
Grinding.
grinding is the process, right? So grinding process is converting that wheat into atta.
Yeah.
So what is that grinding process which is converting your product backlog or contract document, etc., into user stories or sprint backlog? What is that? And what are the steps which you are doing there?
Mhm.
So now what happens is we call these are the tools and technique. So there are certain tools and technique of the process. So every process has input, every process has output, and process has tools and technique.
Okay.
As of today,
Mhm.
today means you can say just 5 years back, 6 years back, something like that, right? When we were saying normal, when AI was not there,
Mhm.
people were using traditional tools and techniques to convert requirement into user stories,
Okay.
to create design, to create prototype, to do the validation of the requirement, to do the requirement control, to do the basically requirement traceability. People were using those tools, right?
Mhm.
But now, after the rise of AI, machines do this all.
Okay. So human involvement is lesser.
Human involvement will be lesser. Now, for example, let's say if I give you 100-page proposal document or contract document, and you need to create a product backlog from this, so you will spend a lot of time in reading this one, right?
Exactly.
And you can make mistake also.
Definitely.
And this need to be reviewed by somebody that okay, this is correct.
Right.
But now, what if I give this document to AI, and within 5 minutes it gives me all complete product backlog? So what happened? What AI did? Whatever you were doing in a month time with poor quality, with lot of money and other person involvement, AI is doing in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So this way there are several things. For example, to create a project schedule. So what you do, you basically identify what are the WBS items, what are the different activities, what is the duration, what is the dependency, etc. And then finally you make the schedule, right? What
Mhm.
if I give all these, basically I say, okay, this is a contract document. Can you please create a WBS from this? And it gives me in 5 minute WBS. And then after WBS is there, I say, can you basically identify the activities which need to be done to create this WBS, and it do basically activity identification. And then I ask machine, can you do the sequencing of these activities? And machine do the sequencing. And then say, okay, go to my resource pool and identify which resources are available, what are the skills, and can they fit into this one. And it goes to your resource database, know their availability, and etc., and figure it out. Okay, what should be the schedule? And going to resource database, availability of the people, and create the schedule for you. What are you doing? You are just telling the machine, and machine is doing in background for you.
But still we needing someone to supervise everything, whether things are happening in correct way or not.
No, I'm saying planning. I'm right now I'm talking about planning, right? Planning which human was doing and taking months,
Right. It can be done in an hour.
machine can do in 1 or 2 hours, complete
Right.
thing.
So we saved 1 month there or months.
Now it is not only saving this one, basically making lesser error also. So you are saving money, you are saving, basically you are having better quality also.
Mhm.
And on top of that, till the time your plan is not over, you will not do another thing. So now plan is over in 4 hours. You start next day working. No.
Right, exactly.
So those are the things. Let us say you want to do risk identification, which normally project manager do not pay attention till the time it comes on head. Correct?
It happens.
They do not do it. So now if I give that contract document or project plan document to the machine and they say, okay, identify the key risk from this one. And machine can identify the key risk from that and do the mitigation planning or contingency planning, which first of all you will not do. Second, even if you do, you will make mistake, you will miss something, and machine can do it effortlessly within 5 minutes, 10 minutes maximum. Risk management, you use AI. Scope management, you use AI. Contract management, you can use AI. Procurement management, you can use it. What is that aspect of project management where AI cannot work? Wherever
What
you
is,
can,
mhm.
every aspect AI can be used.
So we are
Even
talking about AI.
huh?
What are the prominent tools of AI which are being used or which can be used in this field to do such works?
That is another. Question. So what happened is all these companies who were providing the project management tool, traditional project management tool earlier, right? They also realized that if they do not enable their tools for AI, they will wind up their business.
But they are costly. If you talk about Jira, Atlassian is providing Jira. So
Uh,
Jira is a very costly tool.
correct, correct. No, no, I'm saying you are saying what are the tools? I'm saying all those companies which were giving the tool earlier, they enabled all their tools for AI. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि एआई टूल कुछ अलग से ही है, उसमें नहीं है, उसमें एआई आ
उन्होंने
चुका है,
इनकॉर्पोरेट कर दिया उसी में.
incorporate कर दिया. Now when it comes to basically outside, when you don't want to pay for these kind of tools, what happens is there is one tool called ChatGPT.
Okay.
If you know how to get the work done, ChatGPT can do everything for you.
Yeah, we can even activate the prompt AI in this also.
If you know how to get the things done, it will do everything. It means you just assume that you are dealing with a god. You just उसको प्रार्थना सही करनी है, तथास्तु है. वो प्रार्थना सही नहीं करता, तथास्तु नहीं होता है. वो एक्चुअली में इतना लोग प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग करते हैं, उसके बाद में रिजल्ट सही नहीं आता है, तो प्रार्थना सही नहीं करते हैं. तो इफ यू नो दैट प्रार्थना सही करना मतलब, इफ यू नो द प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग, तो तथास्तु ठीक ही होने वाला है. The second thing is around ChatGPT, there are thousands and thousands plugins.
Okay.
Thousands of plugins are there. Now you can access those plugins if you are using paid version of ChatGPT.
Okay.
Paid version of ChatGPT is $20 per month. It is expensive, I know, but think the work which this tool is doing is basically lakhs and lakhs rupee work. For example, let us say you are in freelance consulting, okay? To do a project work, normally you may be taking 4 or 5 people and then 4 or 5 months time. Using that $20, you can finish that work in 1 or 2 months alone.
Because it will create everything for you and you just need to follow the plan.
Correct. You just need to revise how you were doing it earlier. Earlier you were doing it with other people, and earlier you were taking time. Now machine is doing it for you. And you can charge the same money or maybe a little bit lesser. But what are you paying? You are paying just $20, nothing.
Yeah. So you'll become more competitive with
You become
quality.
more competitive. But now the problem is it has thousands of tools. And I'm telling thousands means I'm telling 80,000, 90,000 tools.
Oh.
Okay. So it becomes challenging to figure it out what tool is useful for my this particular work, because Normally, project management, we think only MSP or email. It's not that simple. Project management has thousands of tools, and the reason for that is they are basically specialized around something. So for example, if you are creating a project schedule, and if you want to simulate different critical paths, you need specialized software for simulating project schedule, right? So what are the tools which can do this kind of work in AI? You need to explore those tools. So your effort is basically making yourself aware what are the tools to do this thing. But to start with, you can use Gemini, you can use ChatGPT around the text kind of thing, right? But if you are dealing with images, you can go for DALE, Stability AI kind of thing. In fact, now what happened is GPT-4, which is basically next of ChatGPT. Nowadays, actually, ChatGPT is enabled with GPT-4, can deal with multi-modality. So multi-modality means it can deal with your voice also. Now, for example, let's say you went for a customer meeting and 5 people were sitting there. Somebody was saying something, somebody was saying something. पूरा 2 घंटे का डिस्कशन हो गया और किसी ने उसका रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं किया. मतलब रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं किया मतलब मिनट्स ऑफ मीटिंग नहीं बनाया.
Yeah.
पर आपके दिमाग में क्या हुआ कि आपने उसका पूरा अपना फोन में रिकॉर्डिंग ऑन करके रखा हुआ था, तो पूरा वॉइस पूरा किसने क्या बोला पूरा रिकॉर्डिंग हो गया. Now what happens is you pick up this 2 hours video and give to GPT-4. तो GPT-4 पूरी बात को सुनेगा और सुनने के बाद में पूरा उसका स्क्रिप्ट बना के देगा कि किसने क्या बोला. And now you can ask that GPT, can you create the minute of meeting from this one, and it will be able to do that. जो कि आदमी भी करे तो मिस कर देता है.
Yeah.
Now what happened is in meeting management and MOMs, you can use the tool. So now GPT-4 is able to deal with your voice tool. Sorry, voice data. It is able to deal with the text data. It is able to deal with the videos of and your images, all kind of input. It's basically multimodal tool. So the future around is basically generative AI, means the generation of the data. And when I'm saying data means audio, video, text, everything.
It could be anything in terms of data.
All kind of music, all kind of data generation. Even time series data generation.
Then quantum physics will come in.
Quantum physics and quantum computing is basically to do these things faster. Because today the challenge is lot of computing need to be done, and for this computing, whatever hardware we have, this hardware work in a certain way. It works in a binary way, right? But then if we basically simulate the reality, then it will be able to perform faster. For example, human can eat 2 roti or 3 roti, and with that whole day it can work, and it can do all kind of work. Now, for example, if it is doctor, it can do doctor work and it can drive car also.
Right.
He can go in the kitchen or she can go in the kitchen and prepare tea also and can do the cleaning also with 3 roti only. But in AI, the problem is you create the model, and that model creation is very expensive. And not only this one, if model is doing inference, let us say you say that, okay, I am giving you one medical report. Can you please tell me what is the problem? So now my AI is the doctor. So my AI doctor is analyzing the report and giving me this thing. Now that is inference, because that machine is the smart machine, which is taking the data and basically trying to do the prediction whether it is cancer, malignancy, or whether it is a fracture or something like that, right? So it is basically taking lot of resources to do that. तो 3 रोटी से इसका काम नहीं होता है. It takes a lot of
So for
energy.
everything, a new model has to be created and then train that model.
वो दूसरा problem. So what is happening is, first we are creating thousands of models, and second is to do the inference from each model. It is consuming a lot of electricity.
Electricity,
Therefore,
lots of
there,
data.
therefore we need systems which can do it at cheaper cost. It means at lesser electricity. Human brain is basically most efficient machine.
Yeah.
Most efficient machine because it does not work on the binaries. Machine does not work in the binary. But sorry, human brain does not work on binary. वो एक अलग बात है कि अभी हम लोग we have been trained like this that we start asking whether it is good or bad. It means it's a binary. But what is good and bad in the life? There is nothing good bad. It's all relative.
Like it's everyone's perspective. I think that way.
Exactly. So your perspective is different. My perspective is different. So your good bad is different. My good bad is different. So it means
Exactly.
there is no absolute binary, right? So human understand that there is nothing binary, but in machine,
There is
all
no gray
machines are binary. This is zero. This is one, right?
area.
That is why machines are lesser efficient, and in quantum physics and all that, we are trying to create non-binary machines. So they will be able to do the faster computing kind of thing. That is what we are doing.
That will take another 4-5 years,
अभी तो
considering.
काफी सारा प्रोग्रेस हो गया उसके ऊपर में, प्रोग्रेस हो गया, बट अभी भी वो हो क्या रहा है, एक तो क्या होता है ना कि वन थिंग इज algorithmic, it is algorithmic possibility, and second is basically taking it to the hardware level. देखो प्रोग्रामिंग करना एक अलग बात है, पर हार्डवेयर लेवल पे उसको इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करना एक दूसरी बात है. आपने पहले देखा
Yeah.
होगा जैसे हमारे फायरवॉल होते थे, सिक्योरिटी फायरवॉल्स होते थे, तो सिक्योरिटी फायरवॉल्स हार्डवेयर का भी होता है, सॉफ्टवेयर का भी होता है. तो हार्डवेयर जो फायरवॉल होता है वो बहुत फास्ट होता है,
Okay.
और जो सॉफ्टवेयर वाला फायरवॉल होता है वो स्लो होता है. पर सॉफ्टवेयर वाली फायरवॉल के साथ में एक अच्छी बात यह है कि उसको चेंज कभी भी कर सकते हैं, हार्डवेयर फायरवॉल को नहीं कर सकते. So if now if business rule is changing, you need to throw the hardware and then bring the new one.
Mm.
But now
So that is more costly affair.
but when it comes to quantum computing also, in quantum computing we need some basic hardware where quantum computing can be done. उसमें चेंज करने वाला कुछ भी नहीं, एक बार आ गया तो फिर वो उसके ऊपर में चलेगा. एंड वी नीड दैट एट लीस्ट कॉस्ट. ऐसा नहीं, अभी क्या मालूम है, क्वांटम कंप्यूटर बनाओगे और उसकी कूलिंग के लिए नाउ लेट अस से इफ यू नीड लाइक ए क्रायोजेनिक इंजन काइंड ऑफ सिस्टम दैट आपको उसका टेम्परेचर मेंटेन करने के लिए 200, लेट्स से यू आर सेइंग 5 डिग्री केल्विन टेम्परेचर चाहिए, 10 डिग्री केल्विन
You need
टेम्परेचर.
helium. Helium is cold, right?
हाँ, तो उतना टेम्परेचर कहाँ करोगे, तो बहुत मुश्किल है. तो
Yeah, that's costly.
हाँ, वो कॉस्टली है. तो कैन वी हैव सम अदर एलिमेंट्स और कैन वी डू सम अदर इंजीनियरिंग, वो उस डायरेक्शन में भी चल रहा है.
Maybe they can cover this hardware with a software layer and then put a firewall.
बहुत कुछ चल रहा है अभी. There are so many things because there are lot many giant minds behind all this work who are in different universities, different corporations are working for this. That is going to happen.
But now things are kind of changing very rapidly.
True.
I think it was a great discussion.
Yes.
There's so much more to discuss, but I think we have limited time.
Sure.